Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. This is me, Quratulain Bukhari, Leadership Wali from Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute, batch number 24, 11 number 1. I welcome you all to my show, the Visions and the Values show. Today I'm here to record a review video of a TEDx talk of a well-known speaker, Simon Sinek, and the name of the TEDx talk and the topic is How Great Leaders Inspire Actions. So I have gone through it and I have made my notes about this TEDx talk. So I'm going to share all those notes with you. Um the speaker Simon Sinek is so much famous for his TEDx talks, and this TEDx talk uh, was done in 2009. How great leaders inspire action. This explains a simple but powerful idea. Great leaders do not only tell people what they do, they explain why they do it. His main concept is called the Golden Circle, which has three parts. Number one, the Golden Circle: why, how, what. Uh, what do you do? This is the easiest question. Every organization knows what it does. For example, Apple makes computers, phones, and other technology. A teacher teaches students. A business sells products or services. The next question is how. How do you do it? This explains how you are different. For example, you may provide better customer service. You may use better technology. You may focus on quality. And why? The question why? Why do you do it? This is the most important question. Why is not simply about making money. Money is the result. Your why is your purpose, belief, cause, mission, reason for doing what you do. Cynic says that most people communicate from what, how, why. Great leaders communicate in the opposite direction: why, how, what. They begin with their purpose and belief. Second example, the Apple example. Cynic uses Apple to explain the golden circle. Imagine a normal company saying, "We make great computers, they are beautifully designed and easy to use. Buy one." This message gives information, but it may not create strong emotional connection. Cynic explains Apple's communication differently. Why? We believe in challenging the uh, status quo and thinking differently. And how we do this by creating beautifully designed and easy to use products. What? We happen to make great computers. The important difference is that Apple starts with the belief, not its product. This explains why people can become loyal Apple customers. Apple is not only selling a computer or phone, according to Cynec's argument, it is also selling an idea, that is, think differently. That is why people may continue buying Apple products even when other companies offer similar technology. And third point, why does why matter. Sinek connects the golden circle to the human brain. He explains that the parts of the brain involved in rational thinking help us understand facts, information, features, numbers, language. But our emotions also play a major role in decision making. This is why people sometimes say, I don't know why, but I just feel or I just felt that this was the right choice. For example, you may compare two products carefully, but finally choose one because you trust the company or you feel connected to its values. So, Cynic's basic message is facts can help us understand a decision, but feelings often influence whether we actually make the decision. Cynic's explanation of neuroscience is useful for understanding his idea, but his brain science explanation is considered an oversimplification by some neuroscientists. The golden circle is better understood as a communication and leadership framework than as a precise scientific model of how different brain regions work. And fourth point, the Wright brothers example. Sinek then tells the story of the race to achieve powered flight. Samuel Langley had many advantages: government funding, strong connections, highly educated people, good resources, public attention, a talented team. The Wright brothers had far fewer resources. They were bicycle mechanics and did not have the same financial support or prestigious connections. Yet, the Wright brothers succeeded in achieving powered flight in 1903. And why? Sinek argues that the Wright brothers had a strong why. They believed they could achieve something that could change the world. Their belief attracted people who also believed in the dream. They continued experimenting even after repeated failures. Langley, according to Sinek's story, was more motivated by recognition, fame, and financial success. When another team achieved the breakthrough, his motivation disappeared. The lesson: having money, talents, resources, and connections is powerful, helpful, but resources alone do not guarantee success. A strong purpose can motivate people to keep trying, take risks, work together, overcome failure, and continue when things become difficult. And fifth point is the law of diffusion of innovation. So Sinek also explains how new ideas and products spread through society. People can generally be divided into groups such as innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggards. So innovators are the people love trying new things. They are comfortable with risks and experimentation. And early adopters are the people who are interested in new ideas and are willing to try something before it becomes popular. They often believe in the idea behind a product. And then comes early majority. They adopt something after it has already become widely accepted. And laggards, they are usually the last people to adopt something new. So, Sinek's point is that organizations should not try to conceive everyone immediately. They should first connect with people who already believe in their idea. Once enough people believe it, the idea can spread to the larger population. This leads to one of the central message of the talk. That is, people are more likely to support something when they believe in the reason behind it, not simply because of what it does. The TiVo example. It's the sixth example. So Sinek uses TiVo as an example of a product that had excellent technology but struggled to become a huge commercial success. Uh, TiVo had useful features and uh, could do things traditional television recording could not. However, Sinek argues that its communication focused too much on what the product could do. It explained the features instead of creating a powerful emotional reason for people to buy it. So, the lesson from TiVo: a great product is not always enough. You also need to communicate. Why does this product matter? People need to understand the purpose and value behind what you are offering. And seventh point, Martin Luther King's example. Cynic then moves from business to leadership and social change. He talks about Martin and the 1963 March on Washington. Around 250,000 people came to Washington to support the civil rights movement. Sinek's point is that these people were not simply following a king because he had a position of authority. They believe in the cause. King gave people a vision of a better future. This is why Sinek highlights the famous phrase, I have a dream. He contrasts a dream with a detailed plan. A plan tells people, here is what we are going to do. A dream tells people, here is the future we believe is possible. So, great leaders can make people feel that they are part of something bigger than themselves. And eighth point is leadership is not just about position. So, one of the most important lessons from Senec's talk is the leadership is not uh, simply about having authority. A person can have a title, position, money, or power without inspiring the people. A true leader can create belief. For example, a leader can say, this is what I want you to do. But an inspiring leader says, this is what we believe in and this is why it matters. So, when people understand and believe in the purpose, they are more likely to participate willingly. And ninth point of Senec's talk is hiring people based on why. So Cynic also applies the idea to hiring. Imagine you hire someone only because they have the right skills. They might do the job correctly, but they may not feel deeply connected to the organization. Now, imagine hiring someone who shares your purpose and values. So that person may be more motivated to work hard, solve problems, take initiative, stay committed, support the organization during difficult times. Therefore, Sinek suggests that organizations should look for people who believe what they believe, not only people who can perform a particular task. And 10th part of the TED Talks is the main message. Um, The entire talk can be understood through one simple sequence. Start with what, what do we sell, then how is our product different, finally why does our work matter. This is an ordinary approach. Great leaders start with why, and then how, and then what. They begin with their purpose, then they explain how they work towards that purpose. Finally, they show what they actually offer. And 11th point is what we can learn as individuals. Sinek's idea is not only useful for companies, it also helps teachers, coaches, entrepreneurs, parents, educators, leaders. Instead of asking only, what am I doing? Ask, why am I doing it? For example, uh, uh, teachers what is what I teach students, and teachers how is how I use modern and engaging teaching methods, and teachers why is I believe education can transform lives. And if there is an entrepreneur, his what is I sell a service. His how is I provide high quality service. And his why is I want to solve a meaningful uh, problem and create value. When your why is clear, your work can become more meaningful. And 12 point is important lessons from the talk. So lesson number 1, know your why. Number 2 is purpose creates connection. Lesson number 3 is inspiration is more powerful than pressure. And then lesson number 4, resources are not everything. Lesson number 5 is failure becomes easier to handle when you have a purpose. And lesson number 6 is don't try to please everybody. And lesson number 7 is great leaders create believers. And lesson number 8 is your why should guide your what. So that was it from my side. And it was me, Kuratulain Bukhari, Leadership Ali from Rehan AI Teachers Training Institute. So, in some other video with some other topic, we'll meet again. Till then, Allah bless you all.